What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to DSM pregame live, streaming to you here exclusively on DSM Media's YouTube channel. Sixers, Nets, round one, game two preview just about underway here, guys. I am one half of your host. You can find me on Twitter at DylanJD98. To my right, my faithful co-host Scotty. You can find him on Twitter as well at Scotty Drown, guys. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget you can find all of our content, all of our shows over on Twitter at DSM_media. Hit that follow button first and foremost. We greatly appreciate it. While you're over on the channel, don't forget to check out the link tree. It is in our bio and it will take you to every social media platform we are available on. If you guys want to be interactive throughout tonight's show or any of our shows, really, make sure to check out the YouTube channel specifically. It is the home for all of our DSM pregame lives, and it is the best spot to get your thoughts, comments, and questions pulled up on the screen here. Don't forget, if you're watching with us live, drop your predictions for game two tonight. Give us your standout star for the 76ers or the Brooklyn Nets if you're a Nets fan, intruder of the show. But my man, what is going on this Monday?
Not much, man. Enjoying my day off. Just getting some stuff done around the house and getting prepared for the work week. But nonetheless, excited for another playoff matchup. And our full focus goes into the Sixers tonight because the Phillies game was postponed. So
yes, sir.
It makes our lives a little bit easier tonight. We can just relax, sit back. Maybe not relax, depending how the game goes, but sit back and
we'd like
focus
to think so
tonight.
No, I think that's a great point because we were debating what are we going to do pregame wise, Phillies and Sixers. We don't want to do it together because, the Sixers is a playoff game. And while it's great, like days like Saturday, where the Sixers are at one time slot and the Phillies are later on in the day, like that's always fun to have like a double header set up type of situation. But having them on at the same time, like when the Phillies were in the World Series, are in the World Series or the NLCS, whatever division round whatever round they were in at that point in time. I think it was the World Series. The Sixers are opening up the season in Boston with that highly anticipated game, right? Like that wasn't fun. Like you got to get two TVs or you need a laptop with a TV, whatever the case is. Like that's not as much fun. You like to be locked in on one specific game to get your full attention, man. So luckily, I guess Mother Nature gave us that, and we have a Phillies doubleheader tomorrow in Chicago to take on the White Sox. But let's get into this matchup tonight, man. We talked about it earlier. We broke down game one, all the positives, no real negatives to come out in Sixers land after game one, after its very impressive 20-point victory over the Nets at the Wells Fargo Center. Scotty, I guess we'll start with adjustments, right? Because both teams in a playoff series are going to make adjustments game to game, quarter to quarter, half to half. Jacques Vaughn came out and clearly their Brooklyn Nets game plan was to attack Joel Embiid, take the ball out of his hands. Don't let him get posted on the block. Anytime he got the ball at the top of the key or somewhat in the lane, 2-3 bodies swarming to him, he had to get rid of the ball. However, the Sixers knocked down 21 threes as a collective unit, and you saw him kind of adjust away from the overhelp in the second half.
Yeah.
What kind of game plan do you think Brooklyn's throwing at the Sixers tonight, and more specifically towards the big fella?
Yeah, I think Brooklyn has to come out with a similar game plan tonight. I think you look at that game in game one, and if I'm Brooklyn, just speaking from their perspective, I think you have to go on the side of the other guys aren't going to step up like that again, right? And those opportunities, they're not going to hit 21 threes again. Harden's not going to hit 7 threes again, right? PJ Tucker's not going to grab 5 offensive rebounds again. So, like, I would look at all these things and look at them as one-offs because in reality, guys, that's all the Nets can really do here. Like, there's no adjustment that they can go to and be like, oh, this is a better effort or a better scheme. Like, they are running the best scheme that they could potentially have in regards to winning, right? They're not going to guard Embiid one-on-one. That's just not going to benefit for them because he's going to drop 30 and then you're going to decide to double team him anyways. So you may as well just double team him from the jump. Don't let him get in a rhythm, right? That being said, that it may not play out in their favor. It most likely won't. But at least from their perspective, I have to come into the game with that mindset and that scheme because at the end of the day, you were able to hold Embiid to 26 points. You didn't allow Maxey to get off, right? He only had 13 points in that game. You look at Harden, even though he hit the 7 threes, he was only 8 for 21 from the field. He only hit one other field goal. And then Tobias, I mean, you kind of live with Tobias scoring 21 points if you're the Brooklyn Nets. I'll put it out there. Like, it was a great game from Tobias Harris, and at the end of the day, he is one of the X factors for this Sixers team. But if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, if I'm Jacques Vaughn, the head coach, I'm living with Tobias beating me with 21 points. Do it again. That's what I would say. Do it again.
No,
but, yeah, go ahead.
No, from the Brooklyn Nets standpoint, I 100% agree with you. I'll play devil's advocate for 1 second here. So I do agree with you, right? Like, you come out that same game plan, you hold Embiid to 26, 27 or under in this series, you could have a puncher's chance theoretically, right? When you talk about what he was able to average this year, MVP season, scoring leader back-to-back years, right? Averaging almost 34 this season. And you would, like, if the roles were reversed and the Sixers were playing a team with Joel Embiid and, the others made 21 threes, we would come into this game with the mindset of make them do it again, right?
Yeah,
However, to play devil's advocate, if you're Brooklyn, not that those guys are going to knock down 21 threes again, but you do know that the Sixers can shoot the three ball incredibly well as a unit this season. Do you not say, hey, Joel Embiid is the most dominant player in the league. He's going to get his or open things up for everyone else. He beats us with twos, and we shoot the shit out of the three ball. If you're the Brooklyn Nets point of view, is that not the way to try to go? Joel Embiid might give you 45 in the paint, but I'm going to chuck quick threes every possession and just try to outshoot the 76ers from the three-point land. Is that a route?
It is a route, and I think those are the only two routes that you can go against the Sixers team. I think you listed all of the options there, and it's not that that's a bad option either. And in fact, you'll probably see the Boston Celtics deploy that scheme in the second round if we do end up playing them. But that being said, I don't know. When I look at it from that perspective, so say Boston, they can guard Embiid one-on-one. At least with Boston, you have Al Horford, you'll have Robert Williams III, right? And you can say those guys will guard Embiid as well as you possibly can one-on-one, right? Whereas you go to if you go over to Brooklyn's side of things, Nick Claxton, I mean, that could get bad really early if you let him one-on-one, man. That's not Al Horford. That's not a guy that has historically defended Embiid well. It's not a defensive scheme coming from Boston that is a way more established team. So all of those things considered, I don't think it would be in their best interest to go that route. But to your point, if things go south early tonight and the Sixers are hitting threes again, why not try it, right? Why not try something different if you're Brooklyn?
No, I agree with you, Chili. What's going on, man? Andre, drop your score prediction, your stars of the game, guys. We want to hear from you. But I completely agree, man. It's, I guess I throw out that idea from Brooklyn because when you are less talented or when you are the inferior, opponent, in this day and age with the three ball, you just have to hope to get hot. And if we're being realistic, like we just laid out the blueprint to maybe win one game. Like they're not going to beat the Sixers deploying that strategy 4 times, 3 times, whatever the case may be. It's like, all right, if you're trying to win a game, we're either going all in on forcing the ball out of Joel's hands and making everybody else beat you like they did the other day, or I'm leaving Joel on an island. He can get as many twos as he wants, and we're going to chuck 63s tonight and hope that we make, 35% of them, 30% of them, right? So,
I mean, that sounds like a good, right? It sounds good until it plays out, but like, same thing with the other option as well. It doesn't change either way. But like you said, just give it a feel for that night if you're Brooklyn, I would say, right? Like if guys are missing those open shots, then you can keep doubling Embiid. If they're not, then you might want to just go into single coverage on Embiid. Not trying to give Brooklyn Nets any answers here, but those are the things that I would try if I was there.
You don't think Jacques Vaughn's watching right now? No, I completely agree with this, man. Me and Scotty broke this down on the Faithful Fanatic show this morning. The evolution of Joel Embiid's game, not just from a talent perspective, but also up here and being able to read and diagnose those double and triple teams before they even come and being able to make the right read each and every time. 2 years ago in the Atlanta series, I mean, my God, game 5 or whatever that was, Joel had 9 turnovers? you don't see that anymore. I got the big fella on right now, man. I got the Joel t-shirt on. I think I wore the Brotherly Love Harden t-shirt on Saturday, but I could be wrong, man. Scott,
That's what you told me at least.
Yeah. What you rocking?
Oh, I got the Dr. J on, man.
Dr. J. All right.
I've been wearing the retros this postseason so far, just because I'm feeling very historic with this Sixers unit. So I'm repping all the all-time greats this week, but I'm gonna shift into the Embiid jersey full time here soon, man. It's getting to that point.
I know. Yeah, I got like 3 different Iverson jerseys upstairs, and I got the red Joel one. So we'll see what comes out next. I feel like, to me, like I'm more like the jersey's going to come out in the second round. You feel me? Or maybe Saturday if you and I are together, it's nice outside. The jersey gets thrown on, something like that. Like tonight I'll relax. Jacques already planting the seed, man. I agree with you. Let's get to this. We're talking adjustments. We just talked what the hell can Brooklyn try to do defensively versus Joel Embiid and the Sixers. I don't want to see Harden guarding Bridges again. Harden was the one matchup defensively that Bridges was able to really, really exploit. Adjustment-wise, Scotty, what are you doing if you're Doc Rivers? Is there really anything you're coming into tonight changing outside of defending Mikal Bridges better in the first half?
I mean, you look at this game. No, I don't think that I'm necessarily adjusting or doing anything per se different. The one thing that I would say, aside from Andre's point there with making sure you got the right guy guarding Mikal Bridges, obviously, I would lean PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, even, right? Like either one of those guys, I would throw them on Mikal Bridges. I think they could give him a tough time. But the one adjustment I guess I would say that I would look to make just for future endeavors, right, is getting Tyrese Maxey going. He was my guy that I picked for the first game of the series as kind of the X factor coming into it. Not that he played bad. I don't think it was that. It was just more or less he wasn't kind of needed in a sense. He only ended up taking, I think, 8 shots total. Yeah, he was 3 for 8 from the field, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. So literally only made threes, only took 3 other shots aside from 3-pointers. So I would just like to see him get a little more downhill tonight, be a little more aggressive, just kind of get in his own shot, but still playing within the offense. I want to make that clear when we look at this, because at the end of the day, it's all about patience and it's all about sharing the rock and picking your spots. And I just want to see Maxey find his spots more in this game. That would be my only adjustment if I'm making any. And that's not really an adjustment for the squad. That's just more of an adjustment for Tyrese Maxey to be aware when he's on the court and what he needs to do. So that would be really off the top of my head, Dylan. That's really – I got keys to victory here, but they're not necessarily adjustments. It's just that one thing that sticks out to me.
Let me get to those in one second. I just want to throw out the fact. I was just thinking about this, and you're talking about getting Maxey going, and it's like it's not a letdown at all. Right. But they're in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy that we have the mindset in a first round playoff series of like a tune up, like looking like to build on these things and had Tobias work on this and had to working on your game within a playoff game is mind blowing.
You just need a win, right? Like that. Should be
cool. It's kind of, when you watch Saturday, it's kind of where you're at, right? Joel most likely doesn't have to play 37 minutes tonight. Hopefully, you never know, game to game, you don't know in the playoffs, but yeah, man. So it was just funny to think about. I wonder, in my head, I'm like, I wonder what we could work on tonight for Boston. And meanwhile, we're in the middle of a playoff series. You know what I mean?
It is so hard to not revert to thinking about Boston, man. It's really hard. And once again, I feel like we have to make this clear every single time we say something like this. It's not to disrespect Brooklyn. It's just more or less where we're at. You saw the result of game 1. I mean, it's hard to not focus on Boston. It's hard.
Where's Pastor Rems at?
Milwaukee's injury. What'd you say?
Where's Pastor Rems at, bro? On the comments.
It's funny because he was talking shit to me the entire first half of that game, and then it just all faded. He just faded away.
He wasn't answering. He took a nap. He wasn't on his phone. Feeling another Paul Reed game. Man, listen, let me throw that out to you.
Yeah.
If Paul Reed, again, there's levels to it, right? maybe they can have success against Brooklyn. It's going to be a whole nother story, a whole new world when they play Boston, right? But if you can continue to not only avoid getting destroyed during the backup 5 minutes, but also have some, positive run and make some headway with the backup 5 minutes. Now we're talking about a championship contender, right? Because we went from, hey, when Joel's off the floor, don't be worse than like a -3 or a -4, right? Now it's like, oh shit, Paul Reed was like a +8 in a 10-minute run. You know what I mean? So that's a huge positive. The bench was a huge positive. But Scotty, let's move forward to your keys to victory, man. Because I got to be honest, I'm looking to just continue to do the same things, and I'm almost at the point where here's my key, right? And then I'll throw it to you for yours.
Yeah.
If I'm the 76ers, outside of the obvious, like protecting the basketball, not letting, an inferior opponent, hang around in the game into the fourth quarter, all that different stuff, protect the boards, all that good stuff. My thing is, Brooklyn is going to over-adjust. One way or another, they are going to do one extreme in the beginning of this game. And if you're the Sixers with all this talent, just play in, like, just identify what they're bringing to the table the way Joel did very early yesterday, and that's what you do. There's no need, if they are triple teaming Joel every time he touches the ball, to try to force feed the big fella. There is no need to I don't know, to force James and ISO when it's like, look at what they're doing, because they're going to over adjust in the first 5 minutes of the game and find a way to pick it apart.
Yeah.
Weather the little bit of storm they're going to throw at you and then pick it apart.
Yeah. It's not that you're saying, and I know exactly what you mean, because it's not that you're saying don't go out and impose your will as a Sixers.
No.
It's more or less the Sixers are so much better than the Nets that the Nets are going to have to give you something.
Because my point is exactly, when they identify what the Nets are overhelping with, the Sixers will then impose their will to take advantage of that over adjustment.
Yeah. I'm with you all the way. My first key to victory here, man, is Embiid just to continue to trust his teammates. And that falls along with what you're saying here. And I think it just means Embiid continue to make those quick decisions when you're getting the ball, right? We don't need to pound the rock when we know that double's coming, right? If we know that's coming, you grab the ball, the attention's already on you right there. Get the ball right back, and you're already going to have an advantage on offense. So it's the little things like that, exactly what Chile said here. Embiid just ultimately, the way he's changed his game this season, the patience that he's incorporated, it's going to make the world of difference throughout this playoff run. So just continue to make those quick decisions. And also, there was no Superman acts in this game, right? There doesn't need to be, and it's okay sometimes when he does have to do that, but understanding that you don't have to do that. You don't even have to be the guy that gets the assist. Yep. I think that was a key in that first game. He only had 3 assists, but the ball was moving around.
You know why?
And I believe well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, do you know why? Because when he's reading and identifying those collapses and those double teams early, and he's getting the ball out of his hands immediately, that puts Brooklyn in scramble mode. Because once he reads that and this dude's out of position, he swings it to the wing. Now the dude in the corner guarding PJ has to jump up to take the wing. One extra pass to the corner, PJ's open for 3. That's why him processing that so early before he even receives the pass, that's what's so big out of it. And that's why he only had those 3 assists, to your point.
Even those situations where they pass the ball into the post, he passes it back out, and then you just double down with another pass to the post. You're making them, it doesn't matter what their scheme is set up. As soon as they see that ball go back to Embiid, they're shifting without even thinking about it.
And whatever little trap they're trying to put together on that set, by you doing that, it's like a quarterback when you get a team out of when they have some disguised blitz.
Yeah.
And then you motion, you do something, and they show you what they're about to do.
Exactly.
If they're running a trap from a different angle, and you get that initial entry pass in, and he kicks it right out, they're going to show that trap once he catches the ball the first time. Now it's like, oh, okay, now I want to do this.
Exactly. So that's the first key here, man. And other guys have to hit the shots, right? If he's making the right plays and they're getting the ball to the right place, guys have to hit the shots. You look at last game, man, they had 32 assists on 42 field goals made in that game. Only 10 field goals made without an assist. It just shows they're sharing the ball. Obviously, you had Harden with 13 assists. He was distributing it out there. But yeah, I think that's my first key here. The next one, I got another one for you, and I think
Yeah.
this one's interesting because of Jacques Vaughn's comments. And I think Sixers just need to maintain composure, man. I think that's a big thing here. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that it's going to. I'm not saying that it's going to go like a down the Toronto rabbit hole here. Little chippiness, a little cheap shot here and there, just trying to get under the Sixers' skin.
Chris Paul-esque.
Don't be surprised if the refs don't call it your way tonight after what Jacques Vaughn said. Don't get upset with the refs if the call doesn't go your way, right? Just play through that and maintain composure. You don't want to give them any advantages, right? They already are so at disadvantage. You don't need to give them anything free. So just don't let them get under your skin. There's no need for it. You can control this game if you just stay focused on what you need to do in your job. So that's another main thing here for me, man.
What did they say? Cooler heads will prevail. I think
that's right, my friend.
Right? I agree with you, man. And to your point about the Toronto series, like Brooklyn is a step down to me from what that Toronto team was as a whole, right? Been there, done that.
Siakam is like an annoyance that is unmatched. So yeah,
exactly. So no, I agree with you. Look, I hate to be so like steady with this and like not being disrespectful to Brooklyn at all. I'm really trying not to be. There's nothing Brooklyn can do to beat the Sixers. The only way they sneak a game in this series, a game, not the series itself, a game in this series is for one of those things for the Sixers to implode that way. Whether that is reckless, careless basketball, turning the ball over, not getting back in transition, not protecting the glass, whether that is allowing the referees and the chippiness to get to them and not having a cool head. Or like your first point, the others not hitting shots. If the Sixers come out tonight and shoot 8 of 32 from 3, Brooklyn's going to have a chance to be in this ball game late in the fourth quarter. Yeah. So it's all it really is can Philly play their game and knock down shots, because there's nothing Brooklyn can do to stop it.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. This is not about what the Brooklyn Nets can do. It's more or less, how can the Sixers fail? How can the Sixers not fulfill what they're supposed to do? That's really
Let me ask you a question.
What these pregame shows are going to be about, as it's quite honest.
Let me ask you a question. Rather than, heading into game one, and you and I were going back and forth, and not that you said that they were going to lose the game, you predicted the Sixers to win, but you had mentioned that there's a game for an underdog to steal. It's predominantly normally a game 1 or a game 3, right? The way the Sixers took care of business was impressive. Let me ask you, if they come out and do that again, if they take care of business by 12, 15, 18 plus tonight against Brooklyn, and it's not really a game in the fourth quarter again. We talked all year long about how this team is different. Does handling Brooklyn like this in the first 2 games, does that only further your belief in that this team is different, that they are a true championship contender? Because yes, while it is the Brooklyn Nets, when's the last time you've seen the Sixers beat the dog shit out of a 6 seed in back-to-back games and take it ultra seriously?
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely, be another step towards seeing the Sixers do something different this postseason, right? Just change the tide. And ultimately, do what they're supposed to. A lot of the times they don't fulfill their expectations. And I think this is one where you go out there and blow them out tonight. You're fulfilling that expectation. I'll tell you what, though, the biggest step for me is going to be in that game 3 when it shifts back to Brooklyn. I'll get ahead of you right now. I expect the Sixers to take care of business tonight. You get back to Brooklyn, like we talked about in game 1. Game 3 is another opportunity. I think it's their last opportunity,
right,
to grab one, to steal one, just because you get that juice of returning to your home floor. But still, I mean, it's going to be really, really tough. After seeing the way it played out in game 1, if I could go back, I would probably say Sixers in 4. I mean, in all honesty here.
Yeah, no, man, I'm with you. Scotty, before we get to our score predictions, I know Chili dropped his. Before we get to our standout stars, let's head over to our best bets of the night, brought to you by
I'll be
Show.
Right back, all right?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
While you do this.
Yeah. So, guys, these are our Sixers Nets game 2 best bets of the night. And as you can see with the first 2, Scotty and I have this conversation all the time on whether or not, gambling on your own team and player props and everything like that can take away from your experience of watching the game. So, for instance, like last game, I had Joel Embiid in a parlay for 25 points. And in the first half, he had 10. So rather than enjoying the Sixers knockdown 21 threes, and I'm enjoying it, obviously, but in the back of my mind, Embiid comes out for a break and I'm just waiting for him to get back into the game. I want the ball in Joel's hands because I need 2 more points with 3 minutes left. You're not enjoying the game. So our first 2 props tonight just have to do with rooting for the team's success. It doesn't matter who does it. It doesn't matter when they do it, etc. All that matters is that the Sixers score points. And if they score points, they have a very good chance of winning the game tonight, Scotty. By the way, we did go 3-0 on game 1 best bet. So we're looking to continue that trend tonight. First best bet of the game. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say technically no. I thought we may have originally went 2 D-Melt threes. We actually went D-Melt points. So no. We went 3. We'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Quick little switcheroo though. Quick switcheroo before we put it out. But first best bet of the night is we're riding it again. I don't know what the sports books are thinking on this one. Maybe I lost my mind going for it 2 games in a row. Sixers team total over 111.5. They average this on the season. Brooklyn averages this given up on defense this season. Yeah. Obviously, we don't expect the Sixers to hit 21 threes again. However, 112 plus points seems well within the realm of possibility tonight. Sixers over 111.5 team total at -120. Go down 1 in there, calm the 3-pointers. Now, again, are the Sixers going to hit 20 plus threes tonight? No, they are not. Do I think we see a decline by 10 3-pointers made tonight? No, I do not. I think, as Scotty said, I think they're still going to try to deploy a double team and traps on Joel, feed the open guys, get the ball out early, make the extra passes. The Sixers average 12.6 3-pointers made per game this year. They shoot at the highest percentage of any team in the league, over 11.5 made threes as a team at -125. And again, Scotty, if they can hit those 12 threes, I bet you the team total is looking pretty good. So those go hand in hand. This one, we'll have a little fun with it. And I think, you know what this is? This is us putting our confidence in the hands of Tobias Harris. We put him on the back burner heading into this postseason. We relieved him of any expectations we may have had for him before with his recent play. He came out and looked fantastic in game 1 at home. Tobias Harris, over 13.5 points at -115 on DraftKings Sportsbook. It's his season average. He averages over 14 per night. He's going to have his opportunities again tonight. Tobias Harris, points. Sixers, 12 plus made threes as a team. Sixers, 112 plus points as a team. Those are your best bets for game 2 versus the Brooklyn Nets here.
Yes, sir. I love them all. Man. I think those are pretty, I hate to, knock on wood, safe plays. Now, the Tobias Harris one, that's probably the riskiest one of the 3, just because consistency, right? With Tobias Harris, he played well last game. We're not asking him to get 21 points though, so just get your season a little bit lower than your season average, and we'll be fine. And like we discussed, Nets are looking to give these other guys the opportunities. They don't want Embiid to get them, so I think he should get that easily. But I just don't know. I don't know what the sports books saw in game 1 that makes them go right back to the same number they put out for game 1 for the Sixers total. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
I get there's going to be a drop off in 3-pointers made, but the Sixers scored that much. They score more than that per game, regardless of if they're hitting 20 plus threes or not. So
Joel only had 26. Maxey only hit 3 shots.
Did they show something towards the end to where they're going to be able to do something different tonight? I don't know. I don't think that scoring is going to be the issue versus Brooklyn. I think that defensively, that's the issue. If they get hot from the 3-point line, then you're going to see a tighter game. But I still think it's going to be higher scoring in that case too.
Yeah, like come Boston time, I fully expect there to be a 99 to 95 game, a 98 to 92 game. Brooklyn first round, I don't foresee it at all. Maybe both teams are cold. Maybe this is a 103 to 100 game. I have no idea. I don't foresee that coming tonight. Yeah. In front of this home crowd, coming off the high they're on. And like I said, the others stepped up big time, but it was such a collective, like Joel, 26. Maxey, 3 made threes. That's it. Yeah, Harden, not a good shooting percentage.
D-Mel, only 6 points?
D-Mel started 2 for 2, finished 2 for 7. So that it's not like guys were lighting up the box score that aren't going to do it anymore. It only leaves room for the Stars to improve their output tonight, man. But with that said, Chile's got a 120-106 Sixers 14-point victory tonight, covering, I believe it's a 10.5-point spread still on DraftKings.
Yeah.
Scotty, standout star and prediction for game 2 tonight.
Yeah, man. So I'm going to go back to the well with Tyrese Maxey. I said earlier that would be the one adjustment if I was going to make any adjustment. It's not necessarily an adjustment. It's just more or less trying to get yourself right for the later stages. But nonetheless, I look for Tyrese Maxey to get on the spiel tonight, and I think he'll have a better night than he had the other night just by volume, right? He'll get more shots. That being said, Maxey's going to be my player of the game, my X factor. And I got the Sixers winning 116-103, so very similar to Chile there, just a few points off either way, but still covering the spread nonetheless and getting over that team total.
I like it, man. I also have a Sixers win. Like I said before the series, I had this as a 4-game sweep for the Sixers. Game 1 only, improved on that thought and made me believe in this sweep more. I'm going to go with a Sixers win of 118-106 tonight. And my standout star, Tobias Harris.
Nice.
And listen, maybe I'm picking on him. Maybe I'm being too confident in him. I do not know, but I need to start seeing consistency, just like the Philadelphia Phillies. Great win yesterday. I need to see a string of consistent wins. Tobias Harris, great in game 1. I need to see consistent play. If Tobias Harris comes out tonight, it doesn't even really matter if the Sixers win. I mean, I guess it does. If the Sixers win by 30 and he's not needed, sure. But if the Sixers win a close game and Tobias Harris has 7 points.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah. For sure. So Tobias Harris is my X factor of the game. I don't need 21, man. I don't need 100% from the 3-point line. Give me your average. Give me 14, 15, 16 points on efficient shooting tonight. Play good defense. Crash the glass and help out Joel and PJ. He does all that. It'll be a stellar playoff performance from Tobias Harris. Sixers win game 2 tonight at the Wells Fargo Center, guys. That is going to wrap up this edition of DSM pregame live exclusively here on the YouTube channel. So, guys, if you are new to the channel and you missed the intro, don't forget to check all of us out at DSM_media on Twitter. Hit that follow button. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. And while you're over on the page, make sure to check out the link tree in our bio. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. But don't forget to click the link to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and it is the best spot to get your thoughts, comments, and questions. Pull it up on the screen to be interactive here throughout each and every one of our shows. Scotty, myself, and George will be live tomorrow on DSM pregame live, getting you ready for a Phillies doubleheader. And then Scotty and I will be back Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. here on DSM Media's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter channels on the Faithful Fanatic Show with an interview with Sixers beat writer Austin Krell, recapping Game 2 and looking forward in this Brooklyn series. For myself, for Scotty, for DSM Media, have a great rest of your night and go Sixers.
Go Sixers.